There has been so much happening this season. I am excited to share the season with you. I'm probably going to miss some things because there's that many things have gone on. I've got quite a few save files to open to review this season. So, yeah, let's get into it. We're going to start with transfers because we've only actually made 4 at the minute. 4 transfers have happened. So, Daniel Johansson joins us from KI, and he will be our new left back for this season. I think he's a very, very talented left back. 28 years old, so he is getting on a bit. He's getting on a bit. 28 years old. I wish I was 28, but he's a decent player. I think we got a good left back there. Oscar Mortensen comes in as maybe a potential future goalkeeper. Very talented, only 16 years old. Comes in from 07 Vesta, and I think he could be a very, very talented goalkeeper long term. Now, in pre-season, my players constantly cry about something, and this year they complained about goalkeepers and lack of depth in goalkeepers. So we've now got 3 goalkeepers, including that young one I've just signed. So Sebastian Selling comes in. Now, he has come in as first choice, but he's probably going to be trying to rotate with him and our other keeper. He's a good keeper. He's 6'8", by the way, so we've managed to pick up an absolute giant. But I'm fairly pleased with him. I think he's a decent keeper. And the final signing is a foreign player coming in. Well, foreign list, obviously the Swedish players don't count. Alan Bernardi. I think this is a very talented Brazilian. I'm really, really impressed by him. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Apart from the pace as a winger, everything else, he's very, very talented. So really pleased with that. In terms of sales, none. We've only sent out on loan to Viking Goethe. We've sent out one of our young centre-backs. He has grew to 6 foot now, 19 years old now, and I think he can be a good centre-back. If his heading was better, he'd be in our first team. But unfortunately, his heading's only 7, so a bit of a square head. But apart from that, decent player. Now, the season has started. We played the first game of the season, and I don't want to brag, but we're still spending less than KI. Now, another thing to mention is our youth facilities and training facilities are still in the process of getting built. So as the season starts, our facilities are adequate. But obviously, hopefully, we can boost them up throughout the season. They're going to change in a second up to the next step. Now, we are 1 million in the red, but that's because we've just spent a fortune on our facilities. I was actually shocked they went through, because normally in Football Manager, when you don't have the money, the board cancel the upgrades, but they let them go through, so they must have faith that this season we are going to qualify in Europe and top back up that balance. I mean, at this point, I bloody hope so. Now, I'm not going to lie, I started to panic a little bit, and I cashed out a couple of things. So for Malmo, with part of our sales, obviously we always had on 50% next fee, etc. So when Allaire went off to Malmo, who I don't think he's going to develop in someone who's sold for big money. I bloody hope not now. We've ended up cashing out and got 242k for the 50% of next fee. And for Macedo going to Northland, who again, very talented player, but how much is he going to sell for in the future? We've cashed out 317k. Which puts our balance now at minus 450k, which it's still not the best. I'm still not happy that our balance is so bad, especially someone who likes to deal with finances. But at the minute, that's where we are. But the facilities did need that upgrade. If we go to facilities now, we average and average. You can see here, we are searching for a stadium. So, I mean, fingers crossed at some point. I mean, that could be there for 10 years. But at some point, we might get a new stadium. 6,200 capacity as well, by the way. I don't want to brag, but if we can fill that, I mean, cha-ching. Now, we have just played the Super Cup. We won the Super Cup 3-2 with Johan Fredriksson getting himself a hat-trick early on in the season. So really, really pleased with that. And you can see now that is 4 Super Cups in a row. We are flying. So we're going to jump forward to 15 games into the season now. We've won 14, drew none, lost 1. We have 42 points. We are 6 points clear of KI. Now, the only game we lost was actually at home to KI, which is very, very frustrating to lose a game at home, just especially our rivals. Now, transfer-wise, we've actually done a bit of business, and Philippe Hugnesson, who, if you remember in the last episode, was tearing things up for the Faroe Islands national team, aged only 16, has now joined us on a 1.5-year loan deal. He didn't want to join us, but he was interested in a loan. So I'm hoping once he's been at the club, he will agree to sign full-time after that. So we've picked him up on a loan deal from EB. And yeah, I'm just hoping he develops into something special, to be honest with you. For me and for the national team, which is me as well. In terms of players this season, I think we've got to give a big mention to Johan Fredriksson, who has 26 goals in all competitions this season. He's doing quite well. Now, we do have the coefficients rankings. The league has moved up 11 places to 90th in the latest competition rankings. And us as a team have moved up 140 places to rank 297th in the European club rankings. And if we go into the coefficients and scroll ourselves all the way down, you'll see us here in 40th place, just above the webcam. Now, next season, we lose this 1 point season. I mean, we've got a few seasons before we lose this 0.87 season, but working our way along, this season just gone, we picked up 4.5 points. So if we can do better again next season, we will start climbing these rankings. Going into next season, in 2007, 2008, we are where we at again. We are here, 10.5. So are we overtaking anyone? We're not. So the season after, hopefully we'll get a big boost. But the league's moving up, 90th now in the rankings. And 40th in the coefficients. So the European campaign, we started in the Champions League against Astana. Now bear in mind, they smashed us last time we played them 6-1 in the second leg. We start with a 4-1 defeat, and I don't know if I've got to hold my hands up on this because I made a tactical change. We went to the 5, so we had 3 at the back. It didn't work. And in the second leg, we went with a 3. We got a 3-1 victory with the 4-2-3-1 formation. So did I mess up? Did I cost us Champions League progression? I don't know. But unfortunately, we went out in the first qualifying round of the Champions League, which was disappointing. Now, fortunately, when we click this Conference League, we're going to be having a celebration, team, friends. We're going to have a celebration. Because we have qualified for the group stage of the Europa Conference League. Cha-ching. So, Arat, we played first. 4-0 victory away before 4-1 victory at home. We then played Shikupi. We got a 7-1 victory at home. Absolutely demolition job before losing 2-1 away from home to them. We then played Pristina. I feel like I'm nailing these names. Got 2-2 draw at home, and you start to panic when that kind of stuff happens. A 2-2 draw at home. We're travelling away next. How's it going to go? But we got a 3-1 victory, and we really were the better team throughout it all. And that saw us qualify for this Europa Conference League, huge league table they have now. So we have Hammarby away, Trabzonspor home, Partizan at home, Frankfurt away, New Saints at home, and then Sparta Prague at their ground away. So I don't know, New Saints, we can maybe get a win. It's let me know what you think as you're watching live. How do you think we would do in the Conference League? In terms of other things, in terms of the league, then we are 20 games in now. You can see 119, lost 1 still, 57 points. We're only 3 points clear of KI, but we do have a game in hand over them. And you can see here we are into the cup final against Vikingur Goethe. So can we win the treble again? Now, what I do want to mention is because of our run in Europe, next season we are going to lose this 1 point season from the records. And this season, at the minute, we have a 2.87 point season. So if we can do it better again next season, we are going to keep rising. See, we're going to have, going in next season, 12.375. And that's higher than quite a few of these teams. That's higher than quite a few of these teams. So we're going to jump up the coefficients rankings 3 or 4 spaces next season, which is very nice. Happy days. Guess maybe we should also mention that 2.51 million for qualifying for the Conference League puts our balance now at 2.419 million. We have money in the bank. Now, we have done some business. So a few players have gone out on loan. Vattenhammer, who's one of our reserve team players, has gone out on loan. Gillickson, who also is one of our youngsters, not close to the first team, has gone out on loan. And Rodriguez, we've actually sold for free because he came to us complaining about not getting football. Then my whole team kicked off. So we've ended up just saying, look, go out on free. We get 50% next sale as well. And unfortunately, the sale I didn't want to be discussing is Sousa has left us to AAB in Denmark. He's gone for 16k. Our players still don't have high value being in this league. And you end up having to sell them for stupidly low. Now, we did put a 50% next sale on there as well. So hopefully that comes back and benefits us. 2 players coming in. Replacing Sousa in the foreign player slot is Smokrovic, who is a very, very good central defender. Now, this guy excites me. He's that good. And then also coming in is youngster Jan Larsen, who, again, 18 years old, Faroe Islands player. It says he's a no-nonsense left-back. Even though he's only 5'11", he's a centre-back for me, especially with his passing a 3. No-nonsense centre-back because of his passing a 3. Youth intake happened. We're spending a fortune on youth facilities at the minute and staff, and yeah, I don't want to talk about it. You can see it on the screen. I'm moving on. My league season has come to an end and I have managed to break the record for wins. 25 league wins in 27 games. I'm absolutely over the moon with how we're doing in the league. I'm very pleased that KI are keeping up with us. Obviously, KI is still a professional club and we are still semi-professional. So, of course, they're going to do well. I'm hoping some other clubs really do start to push on. I am in the position now where I can sell players to other clubs in my league. The issue I've got is they either don't want them or can't afford them. But we have managed to win the league title. John Fredrickson, who now has 44 goals in all competitions so far, finished top goal scorer, which I'm really, really pleased with. We did well. We did well, to be honest with you. If we go and play overview, most assists, though, we didn't get that. We really did struggle to pick up assists this season in terms of one specific player. We did have some big injuries. Samuelson, one of our wingers, picked up a major injury. So he was out for quite a while. I think he's back now, so we can have a look at him so you can see where he is. Aki Samuelson, he's not played that many games for me due to these injuries, but going in next season, I still think he's probably one of our best wingers. He has good pace, good acceleration, good dribbling, crossing, good first touch, good passing. He's just a good winger. Also, we should probably mention that our B team, for the 5th year in a row once that updates, is now the league champions of the 2nd tier. I mean, insane to think our B team is dominating the 2nd tier. Top goal scorer Thomas Junge, who was in our first team for a few years, he's now smashing it for the B team. Contract for another couple of years. I think he actually has a contract extension as well over a couple of years. But he's just ripping things up. I mean, he has 10 goals in 18 for the national team. I should probably consider putting him back in just because off the bench he's just a good player. He's just a good player. Now, I know I'm trying to get through everything, so we didn't recap the league, etc. too much. In these kind of videos, I feel like this is how it should be, where we fire through and you see how everything is going. In terms of how everything's going, the board have still rejected us turning pro because we can't afford the extra costs. Now, we do only have $1 million in the bank now. We will look and show why. We are in the process of improving our training facilities again. In 3 months, our training facilities are going to be upgraded again, and then they will go to above average or good. It'll go to something. They've also increased our junior coaching budget, desperately trying. Improving our youth recruitment as well. Desperately trying to improve our youth recruitment long term. So we are spending money. We are desperately trying to improve. We had average train, average youth. We have average academy coaching, excellent youth recruitment. We're still searching for a site on the stadium, so we're still not there yet. I thought if you had $1 million in the bank, you could turn pro. I'm thinking next season, if we can do well enough in Europe that we get above the $2 million mark in our balance, then we will ask again to turn pro. And maybe we wait till the end of the season, I don't know. But I'm going to keep asking because we need to turn pro to progress massively. But at the minute, it's not happening. So the season is over. We finished the season on 18th of December. We've played all of our games in Europe. And we have qualified for the knockout round. Top 8 qualify down to 26th, I think it was, or 24th. Let's have a look, shall we? League path, league phase. Knockout is down to 24th. Qualify for like a preliminary knockout round. And we have qualified. So the start of the next video will be us in the knockout rounds. I mean, when we go across it then, we won 2, drew 2, lost 2. We beat Sparta away from home 2-1. We beat Partizan at home 3-2. TNS was the team I thought we could get something against. Now, we drew 0-0 against TNS, and we drew against Trabzonspor at home. At home, we are looking at a very good team. Now, the weird thing is, in qualifying, we couldn't play at our home stadium because it wasn't big enough. But in the group stage, we played at our own stadium. Work that out. And we lost 3-2 to Eintracht Frankfurt and 2-0 to Hammarby. So none of them were embarrassing. Now, financially, that puts us up to 1.77 million in the bank. So very, very positive there. I mean, it's just all round a very positive end to the season. In terms of player-wise, then, top goal scorer for the season with 49 goals in 39 games in all competitions was John Fredriksson. Second place was Bernardi with 12, Luan with 9, Hansen with 9, then one of our goalkeepers, defenders Obisher with 8, who has kicked off that he wanted to leave, so he's not actually in our first team anymore. I've just dropped him. If you want to leave, you don't play. Simple as that. In terms of assists, 19 for Bernardi, 12 for Hansen, 9 for Johansson, 8 for Samuelson, 8 for Anderson. Now, one of the issues I had was, in the qualifying phases of the European competition, I was resting players in the league to make sure we were fit for the European game. That resulted in players kicking off that they weren't getting enough football. So that's been one of our major issues, is trying to facilitate all of our players so they don't start crying at each other. A couple of mentions then going in next season. So our defensive back two of Smokrovic, who is very talented, and Brumman, who also alongside me is a very talented defender. 2 Croatians in our central defence. Hopefully is going to be sticking around. Johansson left back, Fielska right back, our goalkeeper Renatra, and then you've got Engegaard and Andreasen in central midfield, hopefully is sticking around. Samuelson, Olsen and Bernardi, who is wanted, and Fredriksson up top. I'm struggling to see where I want to improve the team. We've qualified for Europe. We've got a young side, 19, 21, 23, 23, 21, 21, 24. We've got a young side. Our bench is young as well, with some 17s, some 20s. So I'm struggling to see where I want to improve it. Now, this was the end of the season. This was us saying we won the league, we won the cup, we won the Super Cup. We got to the group stage of the Europa Conference League and qualified out of that into the knockout round for next season. This was the end. Then some bit of news came up quite shortly after this, which I'm going to squeeze in on the end of this video because it's big. It's big. So bear with me. I'm going to load the game. You can see my save files. I've started the new season, so there's the save file for that. There you go. New Stad. What do you think that is? What do you think New Stad is? Oh, we got the news we wanted. We got the news we wanted. Oh, I forgot to review the national team again. We'll do that after. So after this news, we'll do the national team news. Board announced new stadium plans will go ahead. But it's not even a 6,200. It's a 6,800 capacity stadium. Oh, it's going to cost us 5 million, which... thanks, board. Look forward to trying to pay that back. But 6.8 thousand capacity stadium is going to be built at the end of 2 seasons. So we've got next season and season after. Then we move into our new stadium. Now, financially, it's not really touched us. We have 1.7 still in the bank. Now, we do have a loan we're now paying back, but it's only about 320k a year. So we can afford to pay it back, so that's not an issue. But we're moving into a new stadium. We didn't even look. I want to mention this, by the way. The stadium is going to be named the Steinberg Arena. I mean, hello? Just won like 4 seasons in a row, the league. And they're naming it, wait for this, Club Info, they're naming it after a chairman. After a chairman. I was livid when I got that news. Livid. Because now it's more than likely in this series, we're not going to have a stadium named after me. Unless in 25 years we're still doing this save and then I get a stadium named after me. But I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed. So in terms of the national team, you know what they say, end on a high. We won 1 game against Fiji, 3-0. Apart from that, we've lost every single game this season, including back-to-back defeats to Luxembourg. We've just not looked good. Now, what I would say is I did change formation to try to be a bit more offensive. And the last couple of games started to look a little bit better. But, yeah, it's a tough time at the minute because we really are not producing any decent talent. So, going into next season, I'm actually looking at trying to bring over as many teenagers who are Danish as I can. Because then, within a couple of years, they'll qualify to play for us on the Faroe Islands and just try to see what I can do. A lot of the players are from my club now, but that's just a fact of how the best players from the Faroe Island national team have now signed. So, it's upsetting. Now, weirdly though, let me just bring this up. So, if I go to schedule, so we finished bottom of the group, no wins, minus 27 goal difference, 30 goals conceded. Weirdly, we now are in the qualifying playoffs. I don't quite understand why. We're up against Hungary in the semi-finals, but why? Like, what did we do to deserve even any opportunities to still somehow get to there? I mean, it's an extra game for us to lose. But that's it for this episode. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Hopefully you're enjoying the recaps of this series. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you next time.